So I can't promise when because I have way too full of a plate. But I am working on snazzier intros for all of our shows, including this one. So, yeah.
All right.
Nice.
So, and I've already got it planned out. It's going to say like blindsided or something like that.
That's cool.
Because we might as well do a name change for the show while we're at it, and whatever.
Not?
Yeah.
Cross promotion.
Anybody know who the hell that is below me? Do we know?
I recognize her.
We don't have name
The
tags.
Leelanau County Court correspondent.
Oh yes.
Jumping into a sidebar. Hi.
Oh, it's that rock slider girl. I know you.
Who lost
It's been
the
a
rock
hot
sliding,
minute.
So now she's back to sidebar.
There you go. Well, nice of you to return.
Nice
All
to
right.
have
Well,
you.
the whole cast is here. This is so lovely. What are we talking about tonight? Oh yeah, we're talking about people who steal from the dead, basically.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it. So at least we're starting off with that. So if you didn't catch this on the TCF morning show recently, and by the way, hi everybody.
Hi.
This was in Judge Prill's court in Huron County, Michigan, and this will be the basis for the discussion tonight. It'll probably go in many other directions because we've got a lot of other cases that kind of fall along these lines. But this was a funeral home director. And he allegedly embezzled a whole ton of money from 204 victims, totaling over $1.1 million. And it was like prepaid funeral funds that he took. So we can certainly discuss that crime and how allegedly horrible it is. But as well, hi, Ellie. But as well, kind of white collar crimes in general. And how they're punished. Are we punishing too softly on these? Is it, especially in Michigan, it seems, is it just being taken too lightly? There's a lot of ways and a lot of directions we can go with this. But Michael, I know you have a certain passion about this because you told me going in that you had other cases you would even bring in. So do you want to get us started?
Sure. Obviously, this case, it's one of those put the fun in funeral sort of situations, right? Because this guy, $1.1 million, but Michigan seems to be, we talked about this just before the show, if you're going to commit embezzlement, which I don't recommend you do, but if you're going to do it, if you really have a bug to do it, might as well do it in Michigan, because we saw, and I know we've kind of touched on some of these other cases in Judge Anzalone's court. There's pretty famously a case where someone ripped off over $200,000 and got what is ostensibly a slap on the wrist. Got some extended probation essentially. And now there's obviously two schools of thought on that. If you just lock them up and you put them away for 20 years, well, the people that they defrauded, they're never going to get that money back because any assets that they have would be pretty limited. I mean, unless it's somebody that's worth a lot, but if you're actually worth a lot of money, why would you be embezzling in the first place, I suppose? But then there's also the school of thought of, well, if we keep them out, we put them back to work, at least people will get something. And yeah, so there's the Judge Anzalone case. There's another case that we saw just earlier this week. There was another embezzlement case. That was a video that's on this channel, Judge Aquilina. And that was a person that is, in my opinion, lower than low, stealing money from the victims of Larry Nassar, that fund. They stole over $42,000 and paid back a whopping $1,000 or just over $1,000 in that. So, and they were looking at, they were on probation. And I guess, again, had only paid back $1,000 in 7 years. And at one point was paying like $20 a month. And again, I know we touched on that the other day, kind of just sort of skimmed that. But yeah, so these are the kinds of issues that we're talking about. It seems that Michigan is sort of the hotbed for this. And
It really is.
It
it's very
Is
crazy.
it a hotbed, or are we just more exposed to it because Michigan courts are a little more open?
Well, maybe it might be that too, Lindsay, but it just seems that because we've watched some of these
when
other
I think
cases.
White collar crime, and when I think embezzlement, honestly, my brain goes to New York. But I know see your point.
Well, Bernie Madoff.
Mine goes to California.
Yeah. Because we watched in Judge Stevens' court, there was somebody that did this, a superintendent of schools or something that did that, or somebody that was in the high up in the school system that stole over $200,000. But that person at least had like substantial time hanging over their head, but they kept them out so they could work. Mm-hmm. But, that was, they hardly paid back any of that money. And that person actually had some assets that they could liquidate and all that. So at least there was a slightly harsher punishment in Texas, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Whereas Michigan, I mean, to get when you're up in the hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars and you're getting probation, I don't know. Those people are just probably never going to get that money back, even if they are working. So at that point, don't you just want to put him in prison?
Yeah, I do. I think, I want to think positively and think that those people will get their money back. But realistically, will they? I don't think so. Because why did they embezzle money in the first place? Because they needed money. So do you think they have like a load of money to pay back? Probably not, because they're not financially, financially savvy themselves. So those are my thoughts. I hate when people with white collar crimes, especially in this one, with the elderly, the vulnerable, and having that, putting someone in a position of trust and having that trust betrayed, it makes I went to school for accounting, and so we learned about frauds in class and everything. We talk about Enron a lot as well, which is a company that did accounting fraud. But anybody that does fraud just kind of makes my blood boil. Like, why would you take advantage of the public and of people? And it's greed. It was what it boils down to. So I really want to put this guy away, but at the same time, maybe give him a chance to pay back some of that money. And if he doesn't pay it back, go ahead and throw him in, because then he's no good being out in society then.
I think I would point out, Ashley, that I think there's more reasons why people do these kind of crimes. Like you said, at one point they do it because they need money, and then you said something like a power trip. I forget exactly how you worded it. Maybe
power trip. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's so many reasons. Like we've cited on this channel before a friend of ours who is now in federal prison for basically a Ponzi scheme, but they didn't. Well, there we go. Thank you, sweetheart. Almost lost the stream there. She didn't do it because she needed the money. She did it under the guise of trying to help others, but the truth is, when you read through some of the texts and whatnot that were published by the prosecution, they were doing it because it made them feel godlike.
Okay.
So there's so many different reasons. Yeah, a power trip on steroids, I would say, when you start to refer to yourself as godlike.
Yes,
but that's what they were doing. You get to this point where you feel like you could do no wrong, but in that case, they were defrauding investors, which is horrific in and of itself. But in the case that in Michigan, that Huron County one, that's defrauding a bunch of old people who are prepaying for their own demise.
Yeah.
I don't know how much lower you can get than that.
Yeah, you can. How did
Yeah.
it even get that much lower?
It's crazy too, because a lot of the time, some of the motivations are different, right, from crime to crime. But some people get into these big gambling debts. Some people get onto when you think white collar crime. Sometimes you think white collar crime, sort of drug use, like the prescription pain, the controlled substances like your Oxycontins and your Percocets, those kind of the opioids and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of another place my head goes when I start to see this, because they have some sort of some sort of addiction to some kind of bigger deal than your street drug user. It's usually gambling debts, and those can accelerate pretty quickly. And they figure, well, nobody's going to know. And what's crazy about it is, had they stolen $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000, probably nobody would have noticed.
No. Mm-mm.
Yep. And maybe they did do that. They obviously did do that. And then the way I look at it is, maybe he saw that he got away with that and just kept going and going and going, kind of like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
Well, this lasted a decade long. So maybe they started off small and worked their way up to the big times, but yeah.
And that's just it. Like, I think once you kind of get hooked into like, oh, I have access to this money, lifestyle kind of creeps in. Like, I have access to this money, so I'm indulging in nicer things, but I need the money to keep coming in, to keep having the nice things. Like, that's definitely a part of it too. Like,
well,
kind of
Lindsay,
I agree
afford
with
this.
Lindsay. Because
quite
even,
literally, some people do the keeping up with the Joneses thing. They get addicted to shopping, or these, this decadence. It's crazy.
people get like a $20 pay raise, and they think that they can buy whatever they want. Then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's probably what happened to this guy. Maybe it's a slippery slope. Don't fall into it, people.
Yeah, I was trying to think about what could motivate a funeral director to do what he has allegedly done, and I can't come up with a good answer.
And he puts and it's bad, because if he's a funeral director, he gives the people in that profession a bad name. And now everybody's going to be wary of funeral directors because of this guy, especially if it's a high profile case or something.
And there's already kind of the reputation in the funeral industry, as it were, of it being this astronomical cash grab. You think of what they charge you for these services, and yes, there's very specific materials that go into some of these services, but you're planning on dropping a lot of money, and like it's already a slippery slope. And then you offer these services of, oh, you can prepay for it and take the burden off of your family. It's slimy. It's just slimy. I'm withholding a lot of personal opinion right now.
well, and the thing is, this isn't, we talk about, somebody that steals a loaf of bread or that steals some ground beef to feed their family.
Yeah.
We've certainly had that discussion. The person that steals a little bit of money to make rent or to pay for, their doctor's visit or their medicine because they're on some sort of cancer treatment. And I've certainly, and I can't even remember, but sometime when I first started getting fed court materials, just before I stumbled into TCF, one of the cases I did see was somebody that was literally paying for the medication for their mom or something. And they were stealing, it wasn't quite on this level, but it was still a substantial amount of money, thousands of dollars as opposed to hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not saying that's right, okay, but there's a justification that I think some would, at least you could garner some sympathy for. Stealing money because, I got myself into gambling debts. I just couldn't stop hitting the slots or the roulette wheel or whatever. I mean, that's, or I wanted to have, another coach purse or whatever, like
Wanted to go on vacation.
Exactly. That's a lot less sympathetic. And almost all of these cases, albeit not all, but almost all of these cases are just that. It is just people that are chasing their other bad decisions with even bigger bad decisions.
That's a good way to put it, Mike.
Interesting perspective.
Something I keep kind of chewing on those. Like we talked initially about like locking them up versus letting them stay out, and at least then they can be working to pay off what they owe or what they took.
Potentially,
I keep chewing on the fact of, if they get locked up, they're in with people who have done also other bad things. Not saying worse things, but other bad things. If you leave them out, they're out in the community they hurt. And they have to look those people in the eye, and they have to interact with those people, and they have to go out and about. Part of me thinks that's almost not more of a punishment, but a more right punishment. Like, you lock them up with other criminals. Okay, yeah, they're in there with other scummy people, but if you're out there among the good people you hurt, isn't that going to be kind of a tougher row to hoe?
Yeah, that's kind of a good point, especially in some of these smaller Michigan communities.
Kind of where I'm going.
Yeah, it's one thing if you're in Houston or Miami, but if you're in Leelanau County, or if you're in some of these even slightly bigger places, but still relatively small communities, you kind of have to face the music there, or like that is interesting.
That's an interesting.
The city of Bad Axe is only 3,000 people. There's more people on my block here in Minneapolis than there is in the entire.
Yeah.
So, do we know the population of Huron County? Let me look it up. I'm curious.
I can get there in 2 clicks. Hold, please.
I don't think it's
that not
large.
Big. Huron County.
Bigger than St. Joe.
31,000.
Oh, it's not bigger than St. Joe.
31,000. And he had 400 victims.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
over 1% of the population.
I was just gonna say,
of the whole county,
1.5%.
Those are families that have been there for generations. So you go to the grocery store, you're not only going to run into, the old couple you defrauded, but you're going to probably run into a couple of their kids.
Friends.
You're probably going to run into their grandkids, some, nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
You're in it.
It was 204 victims.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
No, I had it flipped.
Yeah.
402 still.
Yeah.
Yep.
In that small of a population, you're definitely going to run across those people. So that's an interesting take, an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, I think to the point that was made, like a city like Houston, a place like New York, where you can just fold into the masses, it's a different story. But in towns like this, where you're seeing the same faces in the same corner at the same time every day.
And everybody's going to be talking about it too. That's the other thing. Yeah. Yeah, fascinating viewpoint there, because I guess I just didn't think of it that way. But that's kind of punishment too. And this is one of those things where you'll be ostracized from the community. It'll kind of be like a prison, and I know there's some people that are like, nah, just throw them away, throw them in jail, throw away the key. And I get that perspective. Elizabeth Holmes, okay. Absolutely agree. When you get up into that territory, when you're defrauding tens, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, you've stolen not only from investors, but, mega conglomerates and all the way down. Look, obviously you're never going to be paying that money back. Obviously that's gone. Obviously there has to be at that point just a punishment that is clearly deserved.
And she defrauded investors, and that's a little different too. But yeah, exactly, Michael.
Many people she defrauded.
Yeah.
And then and really the industry at large, and it's not just I think to kind of piggyback off of some of the other points people have brought up here. It's not just that she defrauded those people. It's a trust in the industry. It's the fact that there's, now anybody that does come forward with some type of gizmo or gadget, whatever, that might revolutionize the business. People are going to go, I don't know if I want to invest in that.
From Silicon Valley.
Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, it just sort of sullies the whole industry.
Yeah.
Which is already one that's having increasing issues with trust. So
could also cause
the damage is more than monetary. Is I guess my point.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I was going to say, could also cause people to not want to, as they're setting up or planning their own funerals and stuff, they're going to be much more reluctant, I think, to give somebody that kind of money to hold for
absolutely.
when they do pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Up front.
I know my grandmother, she had everything taken care of and everything paid up front when she passed away last January. Not this year, but last year. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking in her point of view, how would she feel if she found out that all that money that she put aside in this person was just gone? And yeah, it's kind of baffling and sad.
So speaking of money and paying back and stuff, let's take a little bit of a sobering look at our funeral director friend here. Okay. So it's 1.1 million and change that he took.
Yeah.
He's 72 years old. He's not been sentenced yet. That's on May 11th. The prosecution is going to seek 2 consecutive sentences. One tops out at 85, one tops out at 23. So if he got the max, if he got the max, it'd be 108 months, 9 years. He's 72 now. Mm-hmm. The average life expectancy for a male in the United States is about 75. Odds are he dies in prison. Even if he gets somewhere in the mid-range, odds are he dies in prison. Other than anything with his assets that they could liquidate, these people aren't getting their money back. It's all gone.
Yeah, this is like this reminds me, or I'm trying to say is he didn't have much to lose in the first place, so he kind of took advantage of that in a way too.
Well, and the thing too is whatever they do liquidate, his lawyers are going to be at the front of the line.
That's the sick part.
Yeah.
So it'll be pennies at best left over for these 200 and some odd victims.
Yep.
And I think that's the really sad part about any of this, especially when you have a situation like this where a person is older, they really.
Mid-thought.
Frozen Michael syndrome.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Oh,
try again.
Goodness. I was just going to say, that when they are this, either old or somebody is just destitute, they don't have anything anyway, and they have nothing really to lose, and putting them in prison, no matter what the outcome, it's just not going to feel right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, oh, we put him away for 9 years, but he was 72. If he dies in prison, you'll feel like it was justice denied. Even if he makes it out, he's an old man anyway. Are you going to feel like you really accomplished something, that your money's not coming back to you? And again, this isn't to say that we shouldn't punish people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in this case, it feels like no matter what happens, there's no justice.
Yeah, there really isn't.
Yep.
Honestly, there's very, very seldom justice in any kind of financial crime.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's very few of them where you can point at and go, that person got made whole again. Because as Judge Stevens has pointed out, he's always felt that you should have to pay back with interest, but you don't. But you're losing the ability to use that money,
right?
To grow that money.
True.
You know, or to bet it all on red. I mean, it's up to you. It's your money, or at least it was. but you're losing any options that you have with it on top of not having it at all. So the theoretical damage is even higher.
And then Great Granny raises the point, and then there's the cost of housing and feeding them in prison. Like they're getting 3 hots and a cot. Some of those folks that he stole from might not be getting that.
Right.
Yeah, and at his age, a lot of medical care probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
All covered.
Yep.
Yeah. So at that point, I mean, what do you do? What is the fair, equitable solution? And this is one, you know, we kind of solved stuff on Sidebar the other night. This is one where there is
what happens when I leave? You actually solve things.
We solved one thing.
We solved one thing in a sea.
One more than I've seen.
An ocean of issues, and we took, you know, a little drop, and we went, yep, there we go. We got that.
Got one.
Yep.
Billion other problems to go, but this is one I don't think no matter what you come up with, there is no
I don't think you can
good
solve
solution.
this.
Every solution is actually kind of worse than the other. Housing them, keeping them in prison, feeding them, medical care. It's a net loss to the taxpayers. So it's not just those people that got defrauded. It's really now everybody in Michigan, everybody in Huron County or wherever this occurs is kind of getting the screws put to them.
And what about
I have a possible solution.
Oh, go ahead.
You first, and then I'm gonna give you my solution.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, what about the children of the people that put that money aside for their funeral expenses? Now those children have to put up that money for those funeral expenses or the funeral costs that they thought the parents thought they were good on. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
And that's where you hope like some funeral service provider would step up and offer those, but we all know that's a business and bills need to be paid at businesses, so it's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my possible solution.
Okay.
You take all of the victims and their names get put into a drawing, and you get more entries based on how low your net worth is. So the poorest get the most entries. You draw out a name, whoever it is. That person is the big winner of the grand prize. The grand prize is this guy gets renamed Jeeves, and he becomes that person's personal servant until the day he dies. That is as close to a fair solution as I can come up with.
Yeah, that's probably about the closest we can get.
Kind of like hard labor, except just for the victim themselves, as opposed to being on a chain gang or something.
Yeah.
You know,
They can work for
Jeeves,
somebody.
Carstairs, whatever, you know.
Any of that.
Yep.
We'll throw him a bone. We'll have a list of like 10 approved names that he can pick from.
Well, Dan, I'll say
it's an extra hard labor for sure.
You kind of solved for X here, kind of. I mean,
that's as close as we're going to get on this.
Yeah, it's not a real great solution, but it's better than any other option that's out there. I mean, putting the person to work, but not putting them. I mean, putting them to work in a job where they make $12 an hour or $15 an hour. Now maybe they'll live to be 897 years old, but I kind of doubt it. So yeah, maybe this would be the better solution.
That does lead us to the Judge Aquilina case that Dan posted the video of, where the woman had embezzled the funds from the trust that was meant to help the victims of Larry Nassar. She lost her well-paying job as a result of what happened to her, and she had to take a lesser paying job, and she was using that as her excuse as to why she couldn't pay back the restitution, because she had a lifestyle cut. And Judge Aquilina had a great mic drop moment, like just cemented her as my new favorite. It's like, these women have gone without, now it's your turn. Like, they were going to start garnishing her wages, like even from her lower job. Like, no, you need to start paying this. Like, this is supposed to be helping these victims.
Yeah, and she defrauded, and I hate to say the word only, but it was only relative to others, $42,000, which is repayable. If you do have a job that pays halfway decent, you're not, you're going to be feasting on top ramen and powdered mashed potatoes for a long time.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what you deserve, and many would argue you don't even deserve that.
Yeah.
So enjoy it. Because the thing is, in that case, I got pretty fired up because not only did you take from people, but you took from people that have already had everything taken from them.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean, like, the Larry Nassar thing, I mean, it's just a horrendous, long-running crime spree against women in their most vulnerable state. And so, and as a woman, to do that to other women was just lower than low.
Yeah.
I mean, she should have had to have been, working at a battered women's shelter or something like that also. But
something
I don't know.
Face the people that she hurt.
Right, Lindsay. Yeah, you're about facing the community. I mean, that's the only other way you face the community is if you have to then do community service and not just working at a hospital, but I mean like some sort of thing where it's close to the crime, where you stole from the victims. I mean, that would be the solution there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, just that thought, like she kept kind of explaining away why she couldn't pay and why she couldn't pay, and it's like, ma'am, these are people that needed serious like therapy, help, and that's what that fund was supposed to be for.
Yeah,
you can start doing without.
You did it to yourself.
Her priorities were not straight, and will never be straight, unfortunately.
When her lawyer, with a straight face, well, Judge, she was paying $20 a month. I jumped through the screen. I mean, I was like, let's go. Come on. I mean,
Judge was having none of it. And
she wasn't. Yeah, no, she, and that's the Larry Nassar judge. I mean, of all the judges you're going to feed that line of bullcrap to, that's the absolute last one.
Right. Nice. Good going.
Oh my God.
GG.
I was so insane. That was more egregious in my opinion. The chutzpah was more outrageous than the case, the funeral director or the other one in Anzalone's court, or the guy that was so far behind in his child support and basically said, well, I can't pay the child support because I've had other children. I'm like, well,
oh God, that guy.
Whose problem is
whose
that?
fault is that?
Right. Yeah.
Put it away.
What are you doing?
Put it away.
Why?
Come on.
Yeah.
So I just calculated that $42,000 one for the
That's 150 years. $20
175 years.
175 years. Yeah.
At $20 a month.
Without interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah.
I don't see any issues there.
I mean, look.
You
And
take that $20 every month and you put it into just a simple like mutual fund and just let it grow. You'll get there.
1% rate of return.
You'll get there. I mean,
we'll just put it in T-bills. That'll work out.
The planet will have been nuked by then, but that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, don't worry about it. It used to be in medieval times. We used to pass these debts along to the children or other family members.
That's what
and
I
I'm not
was
saying
thinking right now.
I'm not saying that's a good idea.
That's what I was thinking right now, Michael. If it's a funeral director that owes $1 million, why doesn't his funeral director business just go bankrupt to pay off some of that? But then
it would, but
depends on if he's the sole owner of that funeral home or if he's like a partner
I don't
in it.
I don't know if it would matter to me if he was sole owner or not, though, because
I'm
it's
just saying,
kind of
like,
done.
that might change like the legality, or like how
Yeah,
they would handle it as far as,
exactly.
like business law.
Yeah,
but as
then the
mentioned
rest.
earlier,
There was still a civil case pending. I think
Right,
that was
but
part of
Right.
how he pled, was because
Yeah.
there was a civil case and he didn't want to implicate himself in the civil case.
Mm-hmm.
But as mentioned earlier, even if you did that, Ashley, the problem is, guess who's going to get most of the money?
The
The
lawyers.
attorneys.
Yeah.
One thing we can say here on Sidebar is there may not be the real winners are always going to be the attorneys.
It's
You know,
true.
And
not
Just
the
have
public
everything
defender.
covered.
Not the public defenders.
No, Natalie Pate gets screwed. Everybody else, the private practice people, they get their money.
Yeah.
The victims, no. The taxpayers, no. The lawyers, private practice dudes and dudettes, they win.
Mhm.
Well, they control all
Dude is a
sides of
gender
it.
neutral term in my
They
opinion.
do.
They write the laws, they
I'm a
try the
dude,
laws,
he's a
they
dude,
judge
we're all
the
dudes.
laws. The lawyers control all sides. So,
Yeah.
that's our own fault.
Yeah, that's
Why do we keep electing
Broken.
lawyers to Congress, for example?
yeah.
That's what we do.
Theoretically, they're supposed to know the law.
Yeah, they don't care about that. Nobody does.
Right.
It's always about the dollar.
I'm
At
just
the
saying
end
they
of the
know.
day.
Right. Well, yeah,
That's the
they
reason.
write the
They?
laws. They write the laws. They write them to be more favorable for themselves or for their cronies, their fellow lawyers and their fellow legislators and their fellow businessmen. And that's why, oftentimes when we talk about tort reform, it's one of those things where, yeah, there's only so much that a victim can collect. But notice that there's really not so much that the attorneys can collect.
Maybe we should put students that are working to be lawyers in office or something. I don't know. Just thinking.
Have you ever looked closely at those class action lawsuit booklets that you get in the mail?
Oh my God.
I need something to fall asleep at night.
Well, yeah, but look, go to the part where they show you the math, because they'll
Yeah.
spell it out. Like the team of lawyers is guaranteed like $2.7 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then it talks about the part you get, and like, well, it'll vary depending on the amount of claimants, and generally it's like $20
True.
tops.
Maybe.
And that's the sad thing about that. And the weird thing is people have been conditioned to go, we should file a class action lawsuit. No, stop saying that, because here's the thing. It doesn't benefit you. Lawyers salivate at that, but you get nothing. Oh yeah. Okay. Sure. You're going to get enough, maybe to go to Subway.
There's no strength in numbers.
You're not getting a cookie. You're just getting the 6-inch
Yes.
cup of water.
Right. Yeah. No
Yeah,
cookies,
you can go
no
to Subway.
chips. Yeah. And only when there's like the
Here we
meal
go with
deal
the
on
food
Wednesdays. Like that's when that's all you're going to get. It's sad. And so stop. You should be thinking individual suit. And even then, of course, the lawyer still gets their 30% or 33% cut or whatever.
That is the argument for going pro se, I guess.
Yeah.
If ever there was one, there it is. Because at least you'll get 100% if you win, which there's a small chance you would, but
Yeah.
Well, you said we're conditioned to say certain things. Another thing we're conditioned to say along the same lines is the phrase, there ought to be a law. Every time we see something we don't like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
There ought to be a law. Really? Should there?
Well, and what's funny is there usually already is.
Yeah.
It's true.
There ought to be a law against defrauding people. There's probably thousands of those laws. We don't need more.
Yeah.
We just need them enforced better, and we need a better system. But Dan's, it's not slavery because the person owes the debt.
Mhm.
So it's not that. You are essentially you're just
Indentured
paying back your
servitude.
debt. You're in indentured servitude. You owe this money, here's how, it's just like, when you go to a restaurant, you can't pay the check, go do the dishes. This is the doing the dishes of that.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, for, maybe 20, 30 years.
Which I think
still.
Dan's
Lot of dishes.
solution was kind of indentured servitude. Like, you just become Jeeves for that person for the rest of your natural born life. Indentured servitude right there.
What got me? Okay. So what got me in this Huron case was that plea agreement. Like, the plea agreement.
What about it?
Not to bring additional embezzlement or conversion charges into it. That, I don't know. It just seems very unfair. The state agreed not to bring additional embezzlement or conversion rules or policies. The state also agreed not to introduce uncharged bad acts at sentencing. And the prosecution plans to request 2 consecutive sentences for both counts.
So in other words, the other stuff that went on, there's other, other aspects to this case that they're going to dismiss, toss out of there.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with. I don't agree with that. I don't think, because he's done enough damage, and you're going to let him off light. I think it should be, in a way, more heavier. Not in terms of jail time, but in terms of restitution for the victims somehow.
Yeah, but at this point, Ashley, like, you could say, "Oh, you pay us back $1 billion." I mean,
No,
I
know.
It's literally like the kind of money that he would really legitimately owe is just something that he'd never be able to make.
But plea agreement, though.
I know. Look. It's insulting. It is. I agree completely. But again, this is the impossible solution. Dan's indentured servitude is, while not great, is the absolute best solution.
Nope. I just thought of a better one.
Oh, okay.
And Michael, you'll appreciate this one, and you'll be able to back me up on it because it is fact.
Okay.
And if anybody does not think it's fact, just look through our comments, because it proves out there, because everybody cites it. All we have to do is make the person start a YouTube channel. And in 1 year, he will have earned enough money to pay it off.
Hey.
Because you and I, my friend, are millionaires, and you know.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I just solved for X. And people in the comments,
you guys ready for some flexing?
Cannot disagree with me, because they've told me how I'm a greedy bastard and I'm making
all right, guys. I want to show you what YouTube pays you around here. I'm going to show you what's in my wallet. This is I don't like to talk my own finances here on this channel or everywhere, but I'm right. You know what? This is the time we're going to do it. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $9, boys and girls, in my wallet right now. Now, that's pretty impressive. Let's.
What about,
it's more than
what
I
about
have.
the secret compartment in the back of the wallet?
Well, okay, it's funny. So let me just show you in here. We got some old receipts. I mean, some of these things, we got some receipts.
Show and tell.
We got like a coupon from like CVS in here. We got some some of that going on, and that's it. That's the wallet. And so, but Mike, your bank account, yes, the millions of dollars. That's why on a Thursday night I can sit here and talk to you guys. And I'm obviously, I'm wearing one of my old T-Villain shirts, as opposed to my Armani suit, which is obviously at the dry cleaner.
Michael, we know that your biggest source of income on YouTube is that sponsorship deal you have with the people displayed behind you.
Okay, so listen. I do have to let you guys know that today's video is brought to you by Joe's House of Meth. Joe's House of Meth, there's a location very, very close to you, probably uncomfortably so. Joe's House of Meth has been a staple of Pinal County for the last 75 years. Joe's House of Meth.
I heard they're having a buy two, get one free.
That's
It's like
correct,
buy
Dan.
two meth, get a free Molly.
You can. It's mix and match. It's mix and match March. March Madness is underway at Joe's House of Meth, where you can now get 2 for the price of 1. 2 meths for the price of 1 meth. 2 cocaines for the price of 1. Yes, anything at Joe's House of Meth and Emporium is available to you.
Oh, nobody knocks on your
I
door.
want to buy the Emporium.
What's that, Ashley?
Hope nobody knocks on your door, Mike.
Well, this isn't Mike's house. I mean, this is Joe's, but I will tell you, I can point you to it. It's not far down the road. Anyway, like I said, there's a location uncomfortably close to you.
Show ends by a SWAT raid at Mike's house.
Yeah.
With over 10 million locations nationwide, you can't miss Joe's House of Meth.
One on every corner.
Sometimes more.
Talk about drug crackdown.
The sad thing is we bring this up and it's a little bit of a tangent, but that's kind of what we do here anyways. But that is legitimately how some people attempt to pay for their debts, is by selling drugs.
There was a whole
and
TV series about that.
Lindsay, our panelist, for $2 for when this is demonetized. They have to be. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to go throw that sponsor switch right now just to be compliant. Because that's important.
Lindsay has your
Paid promotion. Save. Okay, there we go. Now we can't be demonetized.
I will say people have used these kinds of things, yes, not only to house them. I'm stuck on it now. Not only do they use this to fund their either drug addictions, or gambling or whatever, but sometimes people will, come up with other excuses. Remember, there was the case, and I'm trying to remember which judge this was in, where the person tried to say, well, they stole this money to pay for cancer treatments or whatever it was. And which, if it were true, would have been very sad commentary on the medical industry and on a lot of things. But then that story started to fall apart a little bit. Again, not saying that it's never happened where somebody has stolen money. Again, I cited a case when I first started watching court stuff about that. But generally speaking, that's one of those things that you just try to float out there at the judge. It's what you just throw a bunch of crap at the wall because, at that point you're screwed and you're facing serious time or serious penalties. So you're like, yeah, but my mom has diver's soonitis and I need the money for the meds. Yeah. And that's what winds up happening. So it's, this again, there's no solution for this. It's a big mess. But it's starting a YouTube channel, Dan. That might be.
I'll tell you, that's the answer.
Well, if you want to talk about punitive, I mean, right? Putting them in prison is nothing compared to the work. And you have to start the channel. You have to try and make it successful, and you need to be putting in the work. They'd be like, can I just go to prison?
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, that is so true.
Look, I'll work at Burger King 22 hours a day. No, stop. But don't make me go on TikTok and don't make me go to Twitch. Yeah. Oh, fate worse than death.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Have you seen how Asmongold looks? He's dying right in front of us. I'm just saying.
Dude's got, roaches crawling around his apartment, but he is a millionaire.
He is a millionaire.
Multiple times over. Ashley, thank you for the memberships, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Ashley. Ashley, giving to her own show, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We love it.
Yeah, it's great.
This
actually makes the show profitable tonight.
Well, and it's
Hey!
it's putting your money where your mouth is, I guess, in essence.
That's true.
Supporting your own content.
As long as you know where your mouth has been, you're okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's true. No comment. Oh, no more comment.
Your no comment almost made that worse, Ashley.
No.
I love this show. I really do.
We have to
Lindsay's
have
like,
some fun.
I need to go back to curling. Are we doing summer curling?
Or we spare for next Tuesday.
Casually checking her schedule for the next.
Beth,
we have too
like
much
you might
fun
be
here.
back on Tuesday.
Fine, I'll be here.
Oh well.
Cackle is picking up on Dan's mic.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Do
Do you want to just grab your mic and join in?
Why not at this point?
There you go.
Well, I mean, look, I think ultimately we have to laugh and we have to have fun because
We do.
Because this whole situation and all of them like it are just so pathetically sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because like I said earlier, nobody's getting their money back. Nobody ever does.
And
Yeah.
even if you do get the money back, you're never truly made whole again. There's been a trust betrayed somewhere along the way.
Yep.
Well, and the other
Plus
thing
the
is,
money devalues as well.
Yeah, exactly.
that's the problem.
Your payback doesn't even account for just inflation.
Yeah.
And if you lock them up, you're wasting even more money on that person too.
Well, and when it's something like a crime, like somebody does child stuff, or when someone does a crime, even assault or just a run of the mill crime where there's a victim and it's like a physical crime of some kind. There's, whether you agree with it or not, for at least some people, there's the catharsis of they get to go to prison. It feels good that at least you feel like to some degree justice is served, or they have to go through classes and some rehabilitation, and you feel at least as though some degree of justice is happening, something. But in this case, you're not getting anything out of it. And it's kind of like, wow, we went to court, we did all of this. And ultimately, even if they go to prison, even if they go there, I'm not getting my money. The taxpayers are getting no relief. That person just, all they do is come out 81, but 81 versus 72 at that point, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
They pretty much got away with it. They got to have a decent lifestyle for a little while. They got the amusement park ride. I got nothing. And now I don't even have, the money for my own funeral. Like, I mean, I hate to sound, it's I don't want to be glib or macabre or whatever, but yeah, I mean, this is why this kind of a thing in some ways, and I don't want to trivialize other crime, but this is why in some ways, this is one that has less of a solution or less of that feeling of justice than any other kind of crime, even if it's not technically worse.
There's nothing you can take away from him, unfortunately.
How many of these 200 plus victims are now going to end up in the University of Michigan Medical School lab because they couldn't even afford cremation, so they've had to go the donate route?
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean,
it's one thing if that's by choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you get half.
It's a totally different thing if your family's looking at it going, we got nothing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like all we can, well, for me anyway, all I can do is just have the dark sense of humor about it, because there's otherwise you just break if you don't laugh, you'll cry. It's really it is
Exactly.
It's that kind of tragic sort of thing. And I know there would ultimately be a question of how can we prevent things like this in the future, and that's the only thing that we can try to do is learn from stuff like this, and try to come up with more guardrails to prevent major crimes like this from happening. But
escrow funds, maybe, I don't know.
Well, but you know what the problem is, right? It's always a cat and mouse game because you'll come up with the guardrails, but people are always going to find a way to scheme around it. And, you know, unfortunately, the cheaters, the scammers always seem to be a step ahead of the people that are preventing it, the anti-cheats and the anti-scamming methods. And, you know, because these people, I will say, if any of these guys actually spent as much time working and putting effort into making the world better as they do to coming up with the scam, man, what an effective society we would have, right?
Be a wonderful world.
Yeah.
It would.
Yes, it would.
So I will argue to you, because I do this sometimes. There's this book that lays out guardrails, and it's a really, really old book. And it's pretty clear on right and wrong and stuff like that. Shut up, Michael. Pretty strong on right and wrong and stuff like that. But the sad truth of that is, even those who hold the book in their hand don't stay within the guardrails.
Well, and isn't that just
including
the case?
From time to time your host? It's just we're human at the end of the day, and we're all going to screw up. Some screw up bigger than others, unfortunately. So how do you put in guardrails to prevent stuff? You don't, because there's a certain amount of human nature, unfortunately, that will find ways over, under, or around those guardrails.
Yeah,
it's almost a sport.
Right.
Despite literature and books and philosophers and our own conscience telling us we should not.
Right.
Because look, you guys, like, I've never made it a secret on this channel what my faith and my belief is, and I've also never made it a secret that I fall short of it all the time.
Sure.
I screw up like crazy because that's just human, unfortunately.
But I'm
not one of those that seeks a way around stuff, though.
Right.
That's a whole different group of people. But
you're accountable, though, Dan. That's I think the difference between you, me, Lindsay, us here on this panel, and what we see out there is that people that make mistakes oftentimes I think society would have at least a tiny bit more sympathy for someone, a funeral director that steals the money, or somebody that steals, from the till or from the county or whatever. If they said, listen, man, I did it. It wasn't right what I did. I got into a really bad place and I did this, and there's I can't justify it. It's not right. I accept my punishment, whatever that is. I'm willing to do whatever to make things right. I don't think it can ever be totally made right, but I'll do whatever I have to do. That contrition, I would have at least a little bit more sympathy for that. And every once in a while we do see that.
Yeah.
But it is a rarity.
Yep. It is, especially it seems with financial crimes.
Well, yeah. And again, I have sympathy for people that are like, man, I just couldn't make rent. I had to take, $158. I get it. We've all been in a position where, the temptation was there because we were, this close to whatever. But the difference is if you say, well, yeah, but it was from a faceless corporation and it was the third Tuesday and this other guy did it and you come up with all these other reasons.
Everyone was taking the coils, so I took one too.
That was where I was
about that.
See, we do this show so often we all kind of know where we're all going. Yeah, it was free copper. It was like they weren't using it. It was going to rain anyway. I don't know. going to start oxidizing. I just, I was helping the copper and I was helping the yard. Yeah.
Oh, man.
What
We
a
have no
world.
solution to this issue. And
No.
it bugs me.
We're back to normal, everybody. Woo, just in time for Lindsay to be back.
Came
We are back to
and
normal.
Suddenly the world was righted in that we solved
Yes. Sweet.
Oh, I don't know. I
Okay.
came up with some good ideas at least.
Yeah,
you did,
ideas,
Dan.
but not-
You did.
Look,
I would
think
say
I think
silver.
the
You did
Jeeves-
the silver lining.
the Jeeves angle was pretty good. I think
Yes.
the YouTube angle was golden. You know, if the dude would just start a YouTube channel, he could pay back everything within months.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You just go live and the money.
And you know,
starts rolling
criminal
in.
content does well here. I mean, yeah, we do LawTube and stuff, and that does well. But have you seen some of these channels where it's actually criminals that run them? They make coin. Look up Larry Lawton sometime.
Yes.
You know,
Have you seen Larry Lawton, Austin?
Yes.
Yeah, he's doing okay for himself.
Yes, he is.
And it's basically just talking about his time in prison.
Yep.
I
So,
see.
know-
They're yeah.
Done
I have
tons of
something
different videos about that.
that's just wrong, but okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm just
We
saying.
don't-
you know what, Dan? Maybe I'm trying to think if I'd watch, 72-year-old funeral director dude, and a channel of his on YouTube. And this is how you do it. This is, it's how you make that money. This is how I did it. And
You know what?
would
People
I watch that?
that stuff. I would be willing to bet that there are YouTubers out there that don't have the ethics that you or I do, Michael, that would go out there and commit a crime or two just so they could use it on their channel.
Well, people do
When
it.
it was
They
all-
live stream that crap on Twitch. A lot of people, do that kind of stuff where they're speeding or they're doing some insane stuff or they're
No.
harassing people in society.
There
No, I don't
have-
mean that.
there
I mean
have been
something
murders
where they
on
get put
stream.
away for a year or two, so they
Oh.
can tell the jail and prison story.
I can
They
would
see
not
have
that.
done
surprise me at
murders
all.
on
Yep.
stream before, but they don't think it through. But yes.
Yeah.
But those are always blocked, of course. Mhm.
You know what, Dan? I
We
I
get a
hope
stream
that-
taken down for MSTPK. I can only imagine that would get taken down.
Yeah, I dared
Hello,
showed a
Matt.
video that was almost 100 years old, its original form,
yeah,
Bam, down.
but whatever.
Yeah.
be it.
Oh my goodness.
that was insane. I've never seen that happen. I've never seen a live video get taken down.
Not behind a
because-
paywall, no.
Yeah, not
that was the
a
best part.
paywalled video. Never seen that in my life.
It's the man
Dan?
trying to keep me down.
Dan, you're always breaking new ground.
Well, that's what we do here.
Yep.
No new ground broken tonight, though. We solved nothing, unfortunately, despite some good ideas.
Yes.
But we tried, and that's all we can do. Final thoughts, guys? Austin?
This was unbelievably sad, this fraud, and there's no way that those victims are ever going to feel 100% how they did when they gave him that money to save for the end of their lives. And I don't know how it can be righted or made right.
I don't know if it can.
Yeah,
Ashley?
My mind is self-imploding a little bit because I do not. One, this is a touchy subject for me, just because I want everybody to be responsible with money, and want people to do what they are supposed to do. Maybe put in an escrow fund, like put do not touch or whatever. But of course, people will do what they want, unfortunately. So yeah, this was saddening, and like Austin said, those victims will never be whole, and I think there's no way to fix it. I mean, if you're 72 years old, you have nothing left to give. You don't even have time to give. You don't even have, yeah. There are takers and givers in this world. You're either one or the other, and that is an unfortunate truth. And that's what I'll end on.
Meth boy.
Now,
You just broke it.
Ashley gives a serious speech. Meth boy.
Thanks for the laugh, Dan.
We do what we can.
I definitely need
wow, what a transition.
I'm a professional.
This was Ashley. Ashley's like, hey, she's giving her dark thoughts, and then go to that.
Dark.
Well,
True thought.
I mean, well, yeah. Well, sometimes the truth is dark. I mean, that's just the reality. I guess once again, Joe's House of Meth, uncomfortably close to you. That's the sponsorship for this. No, I don't know. There's no look. We didn't come up with a solution, but I really do hope that we can try and come up with some guardrails in the future, or I don't know, better education for people that are more likely to be victims of these kinds of crimes, these white collar crimes. Maybe that's the solution. But other than that, I don't know.
Elderly is so taken advantage of, though, to piggyback off Mike. But yeah,
Yep.
that's a whole never sidebar to a sidebar. So I won't go there.
It is. All right, so you don't know, but maybe Rock Girl knows. And that's a show, by the way, Meth Boy and Rock Girl.
Meth boy and rock girl.
A dynamic duo.
I mean, I
You guys
so
need to
many
do a
things I
1
could
hour
say, but
afternoon show
words-
here.
What kind of rock are we talking
Wow.
about?
Okay, I was trying.
You
Sorry.
go ahead, Lindsay.
Go ahead,
I'll
we'll be
hide
quiet.
over here.
Because it's pointing that way. It's pointing the other direction from where you're leaning.
Weird.
I all I can do is pray that at some point our society reaches a point where we don't have to fraud each other to the level we've seen, or that we can find solutions that can truly make these people whole after these crimes are committed. Because I think that's almost the sadder part, is we don't have a good way to truly make them whole after what happened.
Yep.
You know, like that money's not coming back. That time you had with the money is not coming back. You've been put through something awful. Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of my thoughts. And it's been great to be back tonight.
it's good to have you
Missed
back.
you all.
Yes.
Thank you for putting up with me.
Meth boy and rock.
Shauna Huey, new member, welcome, by the way.
Hi,
Says, I
Shauna.
think penalties should be enhanced when it's financial crimes against the elderly. They're such a vulnerable population. I totally agree
Agree.
with that.
In
Agreed.
Texas, they are, by the way.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But my final thought is it doesn't matter.
Beth coming with the zinger.
Thank you, Beth. Anyways, yeah, I got nothing else. Let's try this again next Tuesday.
This was maybe the most fun episode, despite the
Yes.
topic, the nature of the topic, and kind of the
Look.
sad implications. But we did have a lot of we turned lemons into delicious lemonade.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
So
Yeah.
if you are new here tonight, and judging by the stats, a lot of new people came. Look, we talk about serious stuff here, but we try to have fun and laugh and joke around a little bit too. Because quite honestly, if we just kept it completely serious, we'd probably just end the show because it's just at some point it's just too much.
Yeah, meltdown.
So really, all you can do is laugh. So thank you, friends, for laughing with me tonight.
Yes.
Because you know what,
Thanks for the joke.
it kind of clears the baffles before tomorrow morning, where we get to see a whole bunch of serious stuff again. So
Yeah.
there's that.
But before the show, we'll hear the deeply unserious of Leelanau County.
Yes.
We will
So
have Blotter tomorrow morning.
Yes.
So Shauna Huey,
Yes.
you now being a channel member. So our morning show starts at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, but we start a half an hour early if you're a channel member. There's a pre-show for members only, so join us. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow morning. Everybody else, try to have a good night. Take care. God bless.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Right.
Have a good night, y'all.